Hello everyone, how's it going? And welcome to the patch notes for Wild Rift patch 5.3, the final big patch of the year before we head into 2025 and before we head into patch 6.0, which promises to be one of the biggest patches yet. There's a lot that's happened to this game this year. This has been the first year that I feel like Wild Rift has really stepped outside of its comfort zone. We had these cool, unique items with the light and dark items, and we also have the Hextech items coming in this patch. We had the new Hex Rift with new Rift Heralds, the new Baron. We have a new Hextech Dragon this time around, or Hextech Elder Dragon, you could basically say, which is kind of similar to how it works on PC League of Legends. A lot of changes that I think have kind of given Wild Rift a glimpse of life. I feel like these changes and this new uniqueness about the game, I feel like has been incredible, and I'm really looking forward to see what they have cooking in 2025. But before then, let's see what they're adding into this patch, the final patch of the year. Obviously, this patch is going to all be about Arcane. It's going to be about the 4-year anniversary for Wild Rift as well. So there's a lot of celebrations, a lot of giveaways happening in the game itself. And also, we're going to start things off with Heimerdinger, which I feel like is going to be a very annoying, very strong champion coming into Wild Rift. Heimerdinger uses all of his inventions. He has his turrets, he has his rockets, and he has his bombs. His turrets can be super annoying. He can get like 3 or 4 out at once, and his ultimate can upgrade one of these abilities as well. I do have a build over on Wild Rift Fire if you want to go and check that out. That is my website with all of my builds. I will also be updating Wild Rift Fire for this new patch, and I'll put a post on social media and also here on YouTube when the website is fully updated. But Heimerdinger will be coming out on Thursday when the patch launches as well, so super excited to see what players are going to be cooking with this champion. We also have the start of rank season 15. This is going to be happening on Friday, not Thursday. So you have a day on the new patch where you can test out some new builds, test out Heimerdinger, test out a few things before the new season starts on Friday, which I'll definitely be doing. I'm going to be playing quite a lot of games on Thursday, testing out all the changes and seeing what I want to play for the new rank season, which I think is great. We of course have the Wild Pass, which is going to be this time Dream Raider Kha'Zix, and the mini pass is going to be Elderwood Xayah. You know, I'm super excited about Elderwood Xayah. When I saw Elderwood Rakan, I was like, man, where's Xayah? And then next patch, they bring in Elderwood Xayah. So really excited to see that Elderwood Xayah is going to be added into the mini pass when the Wild Pass, the original Wild Pass, ends. We also have another event, Firelight's Reignite, which is going to be about the story of Heimerdinger and Echo with the Arcane story. So that's going to be an event where you can get a bunch of prizes. A ranked tier counter display based on total times you reach master and above in ranked, or mortal and above in legendary ranked. Additional visual effects will be added to display these effects of this tiers. This is probably going to be just on your display of your profile. Kind of cool. Rift Adventure log, this is going to be probably very similar to the log that we have at the moment, where you can see about all the updates and all the changes that's going to be coming throughout the patch, and you can also unlock a bunch of rewards. They did a really good job, I feel like, this patch with allowing people to complete the events, earn the little tokens, and then you can get free skins, you can get free recalls, free emotes and things. So I think they've done really well with that. Now, I gave a bit of a read of this, and I don't know how I feel about this. Stellar Bonds. Stellar Bonds is a monthly subscription to a paid rewards program that offers perks like daily rewards, rebates, and customization items. I gave like a brief read of this, and I don't really understand what direction they're taking with this. I mean, you can either play like $4.99 or you can pay $34.99. You get things like increased experience after each match. You can get a skin trial for all. So you receive 10 free all team skin trial rights, usable up to twice per day in ARAM and Earth modes for 30 days. So you can try out some skins. I don't think there's anything here that kind of shouts pay to win. I don't think there's any fortitude cards or any rank loss preventions. This seems like just a cosmetic thing, which I think is totally fine. Like, as long as this is just cosmetics and you can't actually get anything. Champion purchase discount, 10% off when you're purchasing champions with either in-game currency or blue mode. So some discounts there as well. You get some gifts as well. I'll have to probably look at this in-game to see if it's worth buying. I can't really judge it off reading it. I'll have to check it in-game. But yeah, interesting way of going. I mean, we already have the Wild Pass. Like, Jesus, we have the Wild Pass you have to pay for. You now have a monthly subscription thing that you have to pay for as well. Kind of crazy. Facebook sharing. I know a lot of people are on Facebook, so That's kind of cool to see that you can do some sharing. Some events. Cheers to Arcane. Again, ready for season 2 of Arcane. No surprise there. Heimerdinger event as well for the release of Heimerdinger. The 4th year anniversary celebration, which is going to be celebrating 4 years of Wild Rift. And an anniversary celebration raffle party, and then the battle challenge as well, which I think is going to be on the new game mode. So quite a lot of events happening on October 17th to get us building up to Arcane and also get us building up to the 4-year anniversary event. All right, champion changes. These are the big things that are coming into these patch. There is not a lot of champion changes. You might have seen my post yesterday that there are 17 slides. There's not that many changes. Firstly, what they're doing to AD carries. So some AD carries at the moment are pretty obnoxious when played in kind of the solo lanes, especially Vayne as well. You'll see Vayne's base AD going down. Also, same with Kalista as well. Kalista also pretty strong right now in the Baron lane. Also, same with Tristana. All these Baron lane nor annoying champions for ADCs. The base damages are going down, and same with Xayah and Ezreal, which is not too much of a difference. But what they're doing is they're kind of nerfing the first few levels of AD carries. This is mainly, again, to stop like the solo lane AD carries being played, but they're buffing the attack damage per level. So you can see here, Ezreal is losing 4 base AD, but gaining 0.5 attack damage per level. Xayah loses 4 base AD, but gains 1 AD per level. Vayne loses base AD, but now gains more attack speed per level, which I think is really nice. And this is definitely going to help Vayne out a lot. Kalista just loses in general, to be honest, because you lose so much base AD and attack damage per level is never going to build up that over time, really. But they do offer some changes as well. You know, some of them that they have some big nerfs. You are going to be seeing that Kalista is gaining some extra damage to her third ability. The base damage is being buffed ever so slightly, as you can see, the damage per spear after the first one, and also more AD ratio. Now, the problem is with Kalista is you don't actually build that much attack damage. The only attack damage that you really build is Terminus plus Blade of Rune King, and even then you don't get that much attack damage. After that, you build, I guess, Runant gives you a little bit of AD, and then you normally build Wit's End plus 1 item. So you're not like building these high heavy AD items like Infinity Edge, Bloodthirster, items like that. You could go for Bloodthirster. Maybe that is going to be a possibility with these changes. And also the physical damage by each additional spear as well. The base damage is going down, but again, the attack damage ratio is going to go... Oh no, sorry, attack damage ratio is not going to go up. It's just the base damage going down. So the big thing is just making sure that you deal more damage with your spears after your first one. Same with Tristana, base AD going down, attack damage per level going up. But again, they're trying to buff her third ability. Now, this is definitely going to make AD Tristana a little bit more viable. They're nerfing the base damage of her third ability, and they're putting more power into the bonus attack damage. For those who don't know, at the moment, there is a lot of builds going around with Caitlyn, Tristana, champions like that, which are normally fitted into building more attack damage, like Infinity Edge, Bloodthirster. They're just going for on-hit builds just because of how strong the likes of Blade Rune King is, Terminus, Wit's End, items like that. So what they're doing, they're trying to nerf the base damage, put more damage into the bonus attack damage, so it warrants you wanting to build more attack damage items, so you can deal more damage with the likes of your third ability. Now, what I did, hopefully you'll be able to see this pretty well. What I did is I did a bit of a comparison between the two, with going for the kind of after patch and before patch of the AD carries of Kalista, of Tristana, of Xayah, and of Ezreal. So there's quite a bit to go through here to try and see like what the numbers are going to do in terms of changes and things like that as well. I think the big thing is definitely Kalista, because I feel like Kalista in general, the attack damage per level going up, I mean, it's going to help Kalista a little bit as the game goes on, like in the later stages of the game, but I don't know how much it's actually going to take effect into that. Again, we'll have to you can have a look now. I'm quickly editing it to make sure that it looks all good. I just need to bring this up on the screen as well, but you're going to see here what it looks like, hopefully, if the scene does it all correctly. Boom. There you go. Should be on your screens now. So these are what the damage numbers were before in terms of base damage and damage numbers afterwards. Hopefully you'll be able to see this. So you see like Ezreal, for example, So before base AD, after patch base AD, and then also the +4 per level and the +4.5 per level, which as you can see is basically what it's turning into new patch. So 4 into 4.5. So you can see how that changes. So you can see that pretty much every single AD carry is getting nerfed in the early stages of the game. Everyone pretty much losing value before level 10, but after level 10 it seems like a buff to most AD carries, which I think is totally fine. I mean, Xayah I think got the biggest punch this patch. An extra 10 base AD at level 15 is absolutely crazy. And also the big thing is as well is that you're not doing anything with Xayah really pre-level 5 anyway, and after level 5 it's actually going to be a buff. So overall this is a crazy buff to Xayah. I think for the likes of Ezreal and Kalista it can be a little bit tough because of you have to wait really until level 10 until this big difference comes in. And then you have Tristana, which again, you don't really do too much in the early game. And after level 8, you get so much extra AD. Look at that, 142 base AD at level 15. That might be one of the highest base ADs I've seen in the game. So these are some numbers. I wanted to do this just to kind of show you what it means in terms of the AD carries. Again, they're trying to nerf the AD carries in the Baron lane and the solo lanes, but they're buffing the late game AD carries, which I think is going to be really, really nice to see how that affects things and how much AD carries can scale now. I think AD carries can scale and do a crazy amount of damage. So that's all the AD carries that change in this patch. Obviously, I'll be testing it and seeing how things go with that. Milio, as we all know, you've probably seen a bunch of gameplays now of me playing with a Milio. Milio is extremely strong carry, especially when you're playing as a duo queue. I don't actually think that this is going to mean too much. You can see here that the damage over time on the passive is getting nerfed. 15 base down to 13 base. You only get 2 per level and it still scales with 20% ability power. The base attack range is only really going down by 0.5% in the early stages, but this is the big thing in the late game. It's losing about 3.5% to 4% of the base attack range that you're getting in the later stages of the game. So late game Milio is not going to give as much attack range scaling over to your marksman, but it's still going to be good enough. I still think 16% is still enough, and I still think it's going to be really good for likes of Twitch, Tristana, Caitlyn, things like that, champions like that. Ultimate going up by 10 seconds every single rank, I think that'd be completely fine. So overall, I think Milio will still be very good. Again, I didn't really feel like he was strong solo queue. I still feel like he's strong in duo queue. Again, I still think the same thing. I still think Milio is going to be very strong in duo queue just because of how the champion works, how much healing, how much shielding you have, also sort of survivability and just giving your AD carry extra damage. Game modes, we have Arena. So we got Arena, yay, great, Arena. We also have single player mode and practice mode, which I'm pretty sure was added in last patch, but you can see here there's some new features and some optimized features of the offline mode and the practice mode. Now on to the new items. Again, I'm gonna have to change my scene here because I did some little comparisons to kind of help you out. Hextech Soul Stealer. So let's take a look at Hextech Soul Stealer to see what really got changed and see if it's actually worth the changes, basically. So the gold is 3,000. You can see just on the end there. I just took these screenshots just to kind of show you all a comparison, show you whether it's like kind of a buff or nerf or kind of what's been changed. So you can see Soul Stealer costs the same amount of gold, same maximum health, same ability power, same magic penetration, and same ability haste. It also has the same build path as well. The big thing is the passive now. So you can see the passive at the moment. So takedowns on enemy champion within 3 seconds of dealing damage to them will reduce your remaining cooldowns by 25%. You still have that part, which is this part here, but now you have an additional effect. So when you kill that same enemy champion, you steal 15% of their base movement speed for 10 seconds and 75% of their ability haste until they respawn. And the ability haste stolen is stacked as well. So that's pretty crazy, to be fair. I can see like this item being really good on AP assassins. Imagine this on someone like Fizz or Echo, where you can go for the one shot. You get that one shot, you get that crazy extra base movement speed and the ability haste. You can keep using your abilities over and over and over again. I think this is pretty interesting to see what they're doing with these items. Obviously, these are new Hextech items in the game. So Soul Stealer is going to be interesting. I mean, it's Hextech Soul Stealer instead of Awakened Soul Stealer now. Super cool item. I think that this stealing effects when you kill someone is a pretty cool way to kind of use this on assassins, even though this was supposed to be an assassin item anyway. But again, it's going to be really cool. Also, this is used on the likes of Syndra as well, which is also going to be great. Hextech Stormrazor is the next item. I'll be able to pull this up now, as you can see there. So Stormrazor is losing 100 gold, so you get a bit more cost efficiency now. Same attack damage, same critical strike rate, and same attack speed. Again, the build path has been unchanged. The big thing now with Stormrazor is the passive. The damage numbers has not changed, but now when you proc Stormrazor, you proc the passive, you proc the energized passive, you gain 60 movement speed for 0.5 seconds. I don't think this is enough to make this item into meta. I still think items like Bloodthirster is going to be a lot more important and a lot more valuable. I don't think the 60 movement speed for 0.5 seconds is going to make it worth it. The only time it might be worth it is if you build Stormrazor, plus you build Magnetic Blaster, which is going to give you the increased energized effects, so you can get stack it up faster. And also you can maybe combine that with the rune as well to give you more ability haste onto your items that have actives, like Stormrazor, for example. So I think there are ways in which you can use this to your effect and try and get this energized passive on a low enough cooldown where you can get more of this movement speed more often. Again, this is something that I'm going to be testing in the new patch. Obviously, as an AD carry main, I'm going to be testing this to see if the extra movement speed is worth it and if that 100 gold buff is going to be worth it as well. Again, we'll have to wait and see. Next item is Black Cleaver. I think Black Cleaver probably got the biggest change, I would say, of them all. Actually, maybe Zeke's Convergence got the biggest change, but Black Cleaver also really good change as well coming to Black Cleaver. Same amount of gold. We are getting the 50 extra maximum health. So we now have 400 maximum health, which is the same as PC League. We get 40 attack damage, 20 ability haste, which is the same. Pretty sure the build path has not changed as well. I didn't actually check that, but I'm pretty sure that has not changed. The big thing now, the Sunderer passive, you are able to still now or able to reduce the armor by 6% for 6 seconds, but this only stacks up to 4 times. Now this is really good on champions that kind of struggle a little bit or getting to them 6 stacks, because sometimes you just want to deal like a few quick auto attacks here and there and then look to back away or look to try and find your right moment to get in. Before, you had to attack 6 times or deal physical damage 6 times. Now you only have to deal it 4 times. So this could be really good on some champions. I'm thinking of like Vi, I'm thinking of Jax as well. Champions that have little bits of bursts of damage where you can reduce the armor so quickly. And now you don't need to get a kill to get the full maximum 60 movement speed. So you still get the 20 movement speed when you deal physical damage, but now you gain 60 movement speed whenever you're moving towards the enemy champion with 4 Sunderer stacks. So when you reach full stacks of Sunderer, you get the 60 movement speed. You do not need to guarantee and get the kill anymore, which again, I feel like is a huge buff for Black Cleaver. I mean, there are so many champions that can build Black Cleaver already. You could build Black Cleaver plus Trinity Force as well, which is going to be a crazy combo, because remember, you can use this combo and it can be very powerful. So again, you don't need to get the kills anymore. You just need to get to 4 Sunderer stacks, which is big. The final one is Zeke's Convergence. We got the PC League treatment for Zeke's Convergence, and I honestly think this might be the best support item, and it also might be one of the best items in the game. If you don't know, in PC League of Legends, they basically has the passive that we're getting with this Hextech Zeke's Convergence. We also have extra 50 maximum health. Everything else has stayed the same. Also 5 ability haste. So you get plus 5 ability haste, plus 50 maximum health. And you can see here, this passive is so much better than before. So the problem with Zeke's Convergence before is that you had to rely a lot on your allies to deal damage when you proc that blizzard around you. Because you're not doing damage yourself, you won't have to rely on your teammates. So it's more of an item that if your team are ahead, then it's really good. But if you're trying to carry yourself, it's a little bit more difficult. Now it's completely changed. Read this. Casting your ultimate surrounds you with a blizzard for 5 seconds. The blizzard deals a maximum of 60 to 105 damage and slows enemies for 35% and leaves behind a trail as well, so your allies can gain movement speed. So it is going to still help your allies, but now you're the one that's going to deal damage if enemies are in the blizzard, which is such a huge buff to so many champions. I feel like this used to be a really strong item on champions like Maokai in the jungle, Amumu in the jungle. It used to be a first item support rush as well on most supports. You can build this on like Thresh, Alistar, Rakan. Just think of it, when you use your ultimate now, you're the one that's going to be dealing damage. You don't care about your teammates anymore. They don't need to deal extra damage or do anything like that. You're the one dealing the bonus damage, and you're the one being the carry. So really nice changes, I think, to Zeke's Convergence and Black Cleaver. I think both of them are going to be very strong. The other items, I'm not too sure about yet. I might have to test them out and see how they go. But again, I just wanted to kind of give you all comparison so you can see that on screen. Big changes happening to supports. These are big buffs to supports as well. When you get a support item, you now will deal 1 more damage to sight wards revealed by sweeper lens, control wards, or the bloom, which you'll be able to do from relic shield, spectral sickle, and ancient coin. And when your support item is upgraded, you'll deal 2 more damage to wards as well. So this is going to mean that I don't know how I feel about this, because I feel like vision control in general in Wild Rift is very difficult to come with. There is not a lot of players that ward anyway, so it's going to be even more difficult to try and control vision, try and put wards down, and try and get vision around objectives mainly, especially now because supports can just basically one-shot that ward. This also is kind of a nice buff to zombie ward, because you'll be able to kill the wards quicker as well, which I also think is very, very nice. So I don't know how I feel about this. It's a bit scary because, like I said, there's not a lot of vision in the game already, and this is going to make it even more difficult. New rune. Thank God that they removed Ixtali Seajar as an item. This is probably one of the worst, if not the worst, items in the game. So now that has been removed, and now it's moved onto a rune. So it's in the inspiration tree on the 4th row. No, sorry, third row on the inspiration tree. It doesn't show here, but I have a screenshot or something somewhere of Ixtali Seajar that I will be able to show you. But yeah, it's on the 3rd row, which means that it's going to be I'm not too sure if this is going to be good enough or not, to be honest with you, because I feel like it's going to be difficult to replace one of the other inspiration runes for it. Actually, I don't have the screenshot here, but there was a screenshot which it tells you what row it is. I'm pretty sure it's the 3rd row on the inspiration tree. So it has the same effect as the item anyway. Plants hit by you on allies drop a seed. When you pick up, you gain movement speed, and you can also replant that seed as well. Base movement speed and also cooldown. So it's basically the same as the item, but they moved it into a rune. I don't think it's going to be used as a rune that much, to be honest with you. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I don't think it's that great. We'll see. Rune changes, fleet footwork. So fleet footwork now at the maximum of 100 energy stacks, which works the same as the energized stacks. Your next attack gains 100% attack speed. So again, this is kind of a buff to this energized build that I was talking about, because the fleet footwork passive works the same way as the energized passive from Stormrazor and Magnetic Blaster. So buff to fleet footwork, buff to Stormrazor, and Magnetic Blaster was already a very strong item. So that's going to be very interesting to see how that's going to change things and affect things. Sweet Tooth, now only you gain the 15 gold. You don't actually give 15 gold over to your allies anymore. Okay, cool. I don't really know how this was being, maybe this was being abused in some way. I'm not too sure, but yeah, that's going to be changed. System changes. The Hex Elder Dragon. It's this new Elder Dragon I was talking about. It's not called Hextech Elder Dragon. It's just called Hex Elder Dragon. Basically, it's very similar to PC League now. When you do damage, you cool down the Chain Lightning effect on the target. The Chain Lightning effect ricochets, so it's kind of like Magnetic Blaster in a way, where the chain effects ricochets. And also, you'll be able to execute enemies below 15% health. So pretty much got the PC League treatment of the Elder Dragon. It's still going to be the endgame buff, and it's still going to be very scary. T-Hex, some big changes as you can see to T-Hex mecha. Now you read probably the base stats and you think that it's a nerf, but overall I actually think this is probably a buff to the T-Hex, and I'll explain why. So yes, the base attack damage is going down, but to be honest, you never ever use your auto attacks with the T-Hex mecha. It's awful. It's worse than auto attacking with Zeri. Like, it's really bad. So I honestly don't mind them nerfing the base attack damage, and they're pretty much buffing all the abilities. Base health is going up as well, so you're going to get more tanky, especially in the early stages of the game. The armor goes up in terms of scaling armor, and also the scaling mag resist. The first ability has been completely moved. That big massive missile barrage that drops down has been completely removed. Now, after a brief delay, you'll be able to charge in a direction, dealing physical damage to enemies along its path. And also you'll be able to knock back enemies as well when you stop or collide with a terrain. So it kind of works as like a knock up in a way, and also works as like you can kind of use this to clear minions. You can see it deals 1200 bonus physical damage to minions, so you can have this push the wave. Only has a 10-second cooldown as well, which I think is going to be very, very cool. In general, every single cooldown of every single ability on the T-Hex mecha has been reduced, which I think is a very, very big buff that you can use this more often. Second ability, you gain less shielding, but you gain more movement speed. But again, the cooldown has gone down from 15 to 8 seconds, so you'll be able to use this more often. So I think that's totally fine. The shield would never last that long anyway, that you can use it. That will stay up for the 15 seconds. So having a less cooldown, which I think is great. The sweep, again, going down by 2 seconds. You also deal with additional damage to minions. You deal nearly double the amount of damage now with the third ability. And then the laser, again, you deal about 20% more damage. The cooldown's been halved, and your move speed is only reduced by half the amount now, basically. It used to be 150, now it's 80. So again, as I mentioned, I think these are really, really big buffs now to the T-Hex mecha, which actually makes it a bit more viable to actually sit in and actually do quite a bit of damage and do a lot of work as well. There's also some upgrades to mechanics as well. I tried to read these and tried to understand things as well. After you mount the T-Hex meta, all newly spawned minions on your team will gain the Hand of Baron buff for a set duration. The buff's effect scales with game time. So it seems like they're not doing it for just the first wave now. It's now going to be every single wave after you mount the T-Hex mecha. All newly spawned minions on your team will gain the Hand of Baron buff for the set duration. So instead of it being just one wave, it's now going to be every wave as long as you're in the T-Hex mecha and you're mounted in the T-Hex mecha, which is going to mean it's vital, so vital for you to actually go onto the T-Hex mecha now so you can buff all the minions. T-Hex mecha also grants the Hand of Buff minions to Hand of Baron buff, to nearby minions, which has the same effect as the buff granted to newly spawned minions. The buff does not stack. Yeah, it doesn't stack, it's fine. This is all newly spawned minions. I mean, I'm pretty sure this means every minion wave after you mount the T-Hex and not just the first one. Not too sure. Hand of Baron buff reduces the champion damage that minions take. You can see it's from 60 to 70, now down from 45 to 60. So I'm pretty sure this means that it's going to be every single wave, but now champions have more of an opportunity to clear that wave. But overall, I think, again, as I mentioned, T-Hex mecha is getting a pretty crazy buff. Hextech mimics, you no longer need to walk back to your tower to actually gain the Hextech mimics. After killing the Hextech mimic, a certain number of micro mimics will automatically follow surviving allied champions. I'll be curious to see if an allied champion is dead, does it give more mimics over to other allied champions, or do you just lose their mimics entirely? That'll be interesting to see how that one works. I'll have to wait and see about that one. The Hex Rift Scuttler as well. This is the new Rift Scuttler. So after 7.5 minutes in the game, basically the first 7.5 minutes are basically the same. You also get shared gold now for the Scuttler, so it means that the mid laners and the bot laners can roam and receive a bit of share of gold. But after 7.5 minutes now, the Rift Scuttlers basically get buffed. But then after 7.5 minutes, they don't spawn on both sides. They either spawn in the Baron lane or in the Dragon lane. So Rift Scuttlers spawn in the Baron lane. It spawns a speed shrine that grants vision and bonus movement speed. It also opens a gate at the back of the at the back of the Baron pit, which can only be accessed by the team that slays it. Wow, that is crazy. This gate at the back of Baron pit is absolutely nuts, by the way, and the team who slays it are the only team that can actually use it. So imagine you're on the blue side of the map, right? So imagine you spawn on the blue side. The T-Hex Baron is on the top side of the map, so your Baron lane is at the top side. You get that Rift Scuttler on the Baron side. You can walk through the Baron lane, through the Baron pit into the enemy jungle, and you can escape as well without them being able to follow you. They can't follow you. That is crazy. That's absolutely nuts. And then Dragon Lane spawns a speed shrine that grants vision and bonus movement speed. The speed shrine periodically moves up and down the river. Okay, this is going to be a lot more difficult for junglers to try and dodge this now if it keeps moving all the time. That's kind of crazy. Baron Nashor. The new buff gained from killing Baron will reduce damage on allied minions from enemy minions by 20%. Okay. So, oh, that's also probably why why you can deal more damage now to minions with champions. Because now they're doing it so allied minions will take 20% reduced damage from enemy minions. Wow. That means that your waves are going to be pushing hella fast. That is absolutely hella fast. That's crazy. Hextech toolkits, new mechanics. So the Hextech toolkit refresh mechanic is now coming to the jungle. So every 100 seconds in the early game, from 1 minute 10 seconds to 8 minutes 30, a Hextech toolkit mark will be added to a jungle monster on each of the teams. Monsters can be marked red buff, blue buff, wolf, raptor, krug, gromp, basically every camp. Epic monsters and rift scuttler will not be marked. Okay. When your jungler's marked monster is killed, an allied champion, it drops a Hextech toolkit that responds after 20 seconds. Picking up grants a random Hextech toolkit. Okay, that's interesting. So now we're giving more agency to junglers and we're just buffing junglers, I guess, even though jungle row is still completely broken. Mark lasts for 50 seconds. Marks of the monsters in the jungle displayed on your mini-map. Yep. We also have some new ones, I guess. These are new Hextech toolkits. So Jungle Rover spawns a ward that guards the section of your team's jungle nearest to you. When an enemy champion enters the section, the ward pursues and reveals them for 3 seconds. Okay, Hextech Lens scans a large area. While Hextech Lens is active, the champion using it can destroy enemy ward with just a single attack. What a way to destroy vision even more. Like, what is this? This is crazy. Super Lens and Hextech Lens cannot be activated at the same time. Wow. Okay, I mean, that doesn't include also the extra crazy other Hextech toolkits you can get as well. The one that slows 2 of the nearest enemies. You got the one that deals more damage to towers. You got the slow little turret as well. There are so many really good Hextech toolkits that can be used effectively in the jungle. Madness. Ecstatic Scorpion. After summoning Ecstatic Scorpion, you will now gain the gold it earns plus the gold and XP from minions that are killed nearby it, even when you're far away from the Ecstatic Scorpion. Wow, that's kind of crazy. So you can just spawn the Ecstatic Scorpion. You can go back to base, and all the minions and XP that you get, or all the gold and XP that you get from the minions from Ecstatic Scorpions killing it, you get it yourself. Crazy. Hextech Mood Module. Target all champions, only yourself. Health restore. Oh, this is one of the Hextech toolkits. This is the one that kind of looks like a celebration effect. So you now don't heal all of your allies. You only heal yourself, but you heal yourself for 15% of your maximum health, which is really nice, actually. Really, really nice. Ping system. New smart ping system. Smart ping button can be dragged to the interface elements to send related pings, including abilities, gold farmed, death timers, wards, and more. Oh, you can wait. Can you ping enemy wards now? That'd be really good. Smart ping button can also be dragged to targets in the environment to send related pings, including turrets, bushes, champions, ward, red buff, blue buff. Okay, this is kind of nice. I like more pings added to the game. It makes life so much easier in solo queue if you need to ping some stuff. New ping notification when dragging the frequency ping, blah blah blah. Remove the old 4-button display. Oh, so the old 4-button display is completely removed. So this is going to be the new smart ping system. So instead of using attack and retreat, enemy missing, you're now going to have a new smart system, which is basically going to have everything in one, which I think is crazy good. Ward alerts and sweeper length optimizations. We saw this before. So now if you spot an enemy champion on a ward, you'll now hear an effect. You'll get sent an alert, so it'll be a sound effect. Sweeper lens, when a champion uses sweeper lens, a new circular countdown timer will be displayed. Cool. Showdown, this is the new game mode. I'm not really too bothered about this, to be honest with you. I mean, it's kind of cool because you get ultimate items and things like that. Ranked, with the new rank system, the master tier now gets 3 divisions, which don't really mean too much. Gold and below now doesn't have a banning phase. They just have a pick phase, and that's it. Some personalization features, in-game champion tag and champion recommendation. It recommends champions with similar play styles based on your champion mastery levels and champion you've selected. Okay. Title optimization. Quick send button for titles has been added into the game. When the conditions of displaying your title in the game are met, you can quickly send it to a quick chat panel. Okay. A lot of stuff. A lot of optimized title screens. Optimized title detection. Yeah, this doesn't really mean too much. Look for party optimization. Thematic patch optimizations. Custom gallery can now be upgraded with clearer, more convenient controls, and some other customization stuff. And then you have all the skins. Stargazer skins coming out, which is going to be kind of nice, and also the Shanghai skins, which coming out November 1st. Any interesting bug fixes? It's the issue where the showstopper or an unstoppable target and missing them, causing set to slam the ground without dealing any damage to nearby enemies. I feel like that's been a bug forever. It's an issue where enemy champions killed by Lissandra may not become frozen thralls. It's an issue where Kindred's markers. Okay, I mean, this is fine. Cool, awesome. That is the patch. As I said, 17 pages. A lot of things in terms of changing the map itself and changing, you know, Rift Scuttlers, Barons, Dragons, things like that. In terms of champion balance changes, there's not a lot. I think they're going to see how the new items go first and then make adjustments in the new patch. But I'm excited. I'm so excited. I think the new items are going to be fun. There's 4 new items to test. We got all the changes happening to all their AD carries. I honestly think Xayah is probably going to be one of the best AD carries. You're losing 4 base AD. You're gaining 1 AD per level. Crazy. Absolutely nuts. Hope you enjoyed it, chat. Thank you for tuning into this video. Hopefully you enjoyed the rundown. I'll see you all in patch 5.3 tomorrow on Thursday. I'll be live streaming in the morning. I'll be doing a Hog stream, and in the evening I'll be doing Wild Rift. So hopefully I'll see you then. Take care. Have a good night.